Last time was quite a while ago. I fitted some custom lights to the gunnels of the Sprinter for wild camping. To mixed reviews, it has to be said. In the spirit of this music, que sera sera. The time before that, which was an age ago, I was trying to delete roof ribs that were spoiling the view through the Land Rover Alpine windows that I have grafted into the roof. This time, I'm squarely into turning a bare interior into a camper, and there are some first times for me, with 2K rattle can spraying and all sorts of woodwork as I lay an engineered oak floor. But before all that, there's the end of that roof rib job to get out of the way. I had many fears during this job, but mainly that the roof would move enough when I cut the ribs out to stress the Alpine glass into popping. But hey, a result is a result. Note to self, be better at stop motion overhead welding. So now, I can concentrate on interior fit out. Moving from the cab back, the dashboard needs to be reinstated. And this mess stands testament to how much ball ache the simple act of throwing a sheet over things could have saved me. You don't want to know how many days it took to put an initial clean into this cab. You know, the kind of clean that needs a second clean to even approach being worthy of the word. I've never used a 2K rattle can before. 2K as in the can has two paint components in it that get mixed when you do the little ring pull dance thing you saw earlier on the bottom of the can. Have to say, the result seems every bit as glossy, durable and hard shell as the result I got from the full-blown spray job I did on the van with a gun and manually measured and mixed paint. Okay, fine, I didn't achieve incredible gloss, but you know what I'm saying. At about €35 for a 400ml can, it's not cheap by comparison, but it's a mess-free one-shot deal, and that's got to be worth the extra cost. I'd love to have found a matching front seat, but passenger side single seats for bygone Mercedes vans don't grow on trees round these parts. I'll have both of these recovered eventually, but for now I'm gladly knee deep into proper reuse and recycle ethos. There's little new in this build. The van itself, as you might imagine seeing all the rust I had to repair, was a save it from the breaker type deal in the end. But then that's my MO. By necessity and not design. I've been lucky though to meet a guy who's not a breaker but whose work means he's a sprinter guru. His name is Paul, and I owe him a debt of gratitude for the advice and supplies he's provided. He allowed me scavenge a lot of choice gear for the fit out of my camper, and back when snow was a thing, I picked up this little lot. A pair of minibus seats, complete with seat belts and adjustable seat bases. A skylight of beautiful proportions, some side glass, fixed and opening, and custom fit thin plywood interior paneling. If you're wondering about how and why these seats have adjustable bases, well, the how is by virtue of clamps that lock the bases into any given point on rails that are anchored into the floor of the van. And the why? Well, that's because to qualify as a camper van in Ireland, you must have a walk-through cab. So if I'm going to bring my partner and little boy with me on safari, I'm going to need safety rated rear seats. Before I can fit the rails though, I need a floor. And before the floor goes in, I need a subfloor. And sticking with the reuse theme, way back, when you and I barely knew each other, I stripped the ply lining from the back of this van and kept it for just such an occasion. Are you wondering if I'm wasting my time with a bits and pieces subfloor? Well, you'll have to wait and see. And as for these fine looking laminated oak planks, well, when you're handed lemons, you can but make a tasty beverage. There was a slight mishap indoors, and at the last minute, I raided the skip for some of the water damaged timbers. This contrapzione is called a porta nailer, worldwide, far as I can make out. It takes sheaves of special flat flooring nails, and as it butts up square against the board you're laying, it drives the nails into the timber at a diagonal angle into the subfloor or joist beneath, and it leaves the nail head flush so that the next timber will fit up perfectly. I hired this one to the princely tune of €22 per day, and I made sure this was a one-day deal. The nails cost more than the tool did. Now I've got 2 rear passenger rated seats and a number of configurations depending on who's aboard and what we're up to. It definitely feels like a disproportionate amount of time absent for the result achieved, but getting this right took time. And getting this right is no less important than laying a foundation. All other interior furniture will bolt or screw to or through this floor. So join me next time when I fit some windows, the skylight, some insulation and some paneling, along with some little personal touches to flex the old creativity and make a van a home. Heartfelt thanks to my patrons for keeping me going through difficult times, and warm welcome to Leonid Biryukov, Kim Bartlett Brown, Brian Anderson, Stuart Frierson, William Morrison, James Hughes, Timothy Bray, Roger Ritchie, Jonathan Mingala, Rich Hem, Pendo, Martin Smith, Peter Slack, James Ryan, Anthony William Cook Pleely, Matthew Weinel, Frank Schunack, Simon B. Youngjohns, and Stefan Specs. If you're expecting stickers, never fear, they will land as soon as possible, and thanks for being patient. Until next time, stay stuck in, and good luck.